So in this video, I'm going to share with you 8 things that was absolutely ruining my sleep and my rest, and what I've done to adjust and improve my quality of sleeping. Now, this is a subject I always get questions about. Clients always asking about how to improve sleep, EFT practices for sleep and things like that. So hopefully in this video, I'm going to give you some tips outside of just the EFT world that has made an impact on me and will hopefully make an impact on you too. So if you're new to this channel, my name is Hetherington, and I specialize in working with stress, anxiety, and digestive problems. And I use a variety of tools, mainly EFT tapping, simply because it's so fast, it's so effective, and it creates a greater sense of freedom. Okay, so how did this come about? So I used to think I was pretty good at sleeping. I used to think I was pretty good at resting. I meditated since I was about 20 years old, yoga. I'm a pretty relaxed guy. A lot of people say I'm a pretty chilled out guy. Um, you know, all these factors. And I thought, hey, I'm really good at it. But what happened is I actually got one of these health trackers. This one's called the Whoop, and I'll leave a link in the description box if you want to check it out. So this one's really highly detailed. This is made for like sports people. It's one of the best in the industry. I was using the cheaper ones before, but I wanted more data. So I got the best one, and this is incredible. And they're updating it all the time, so it gets better and better. And one of the things that they track a lot is the heart rate variability. Um, I'm not going to go into what that is, but basically it helps you work out where your nervous system is at and your ability of your nervous system to regulate between the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. So, okay, so let's get into these things that really smash my sleep personally. Now, this may be a little bit different for you. It's really up to you to work out, track it for yourself to get the data. But these are the things that really smash my sleep. And I'm going to start with number one, which was the biggest, the most detrimental to my sleep, and that's alcohol. Even if I had one beer, it would completely smash my sleep scores. Terrible sleep performance next day. And I've always been a kind of person that gets hungover really easily. So I've never really got into alcohol a lot, but I was drinking probably once a week there for a while as a way to, in a way, self-medicate, particularly working all the time, bit of a workaholic when I was younger. And so alcohol was kind of a way to snap out of that working mode. The next day, a hangover would give me permission to, watch movies and not work, basically. So anyway, that's how I've been using alcohol for many years, but with the sleep tracker, it completely smashes my sleep. And just from becoming aware of the data, I now am very rarely drink alcohol, if at all. And yeah, it's alarming how damaging it is to your body, particularly if you compare it to the other factors, which I'm going to talk about. I also checking THC. So does weed, affect or damage sleep? And while I found it personally, it's better on my nervous system, it's less damaging on the systems, it does interfere with REM cycle sleep, different parts of your sleep, which is in charge of memory and learning. So it kind of makes sense, right? If you smoke too much weed, um, your learning is kind of impeded, right? Your memory is kind of impeded. And that's largely because it's interrupting those functions when you're sleeping. So that's the first one. Is alcohol is absolutely detrimental. And generally it's, if you're going to do it earlier in the day so your body can actually process it. But if you have it before bed or near bed, it's so damaging. Number two is eating before bed, particularly large meals, 1, 2 hours before bed is so damaging to the system. It's largely about resource management. So every time you eat, the body sends all its blood and all the functionings to the guts in order to digest, right? So you're taking up all the resources that are meant for when you're asleep is actually cleaning the brain, cleaning the blood, repairing cells, doing all these. There's a lot of functions that the body does when you're asleep. And if you've got food in your guts, that's where the resources go. So your body doesn't get the clean. And when you wake up, you feel heavy, you feel sluggish, your brain's not clean or clear. And that's because of food. So these days, I eat my last meal about 5 or 6 p.m. And so by the time I go to bed at 9, 10, 11, I'm pretty much empty. So going to bed a little bit hungry is actually what I've found in the data is the best way to do it. Right. Good. So number three. Next thing is quite obvious, but it's quite alarming to see it when you see it in the data is watching thriller, action, violent movies, dramas, anything like that. Even if you're sitting on the couch, even if you've got a blanket over you, you know, all the typical signs that, oh, I'm relaxing, the data comes back that no, it's not relaxing at all. It's very stressful, physiologically speaking. And I guarantee if you tracked your data with something hardcore like this, is that you'll find the same. So, you know, watching these things at night is really harsh for the nervous system. It just winds you up. It's hard to come down. So these days, I don't, you know, only at night, I watch like comedy and silly things and read books. So if I do watch a violent thing or action, I watch it during the day and it definitely makes a difference. So another interesting fact about me, I haven't gone to a cinema for like over 10 years. I find cinemas to be so intense, um, mainly for that reason. It's very stressful. I think particularly violent action movies, it's just too much for my system. I don't like it. And but I would go if it was more like relaxing and stuff like that. I'd be more open to it. Okay, so the next one is this one's pretty obvious, but staying up late at night. The longer you stay up, the more it interferes with the cycles that your brain needs to go through, right? So sleep cycles generally take about 90 minutes to go through the full cycle, right? There's a whole amazing science on sleep. There's a great book called Why We Sleep, which I recommend. And so there's a 90-minute sort of rotation cycle. And so if you go to bed even half an hour later than usual, you're interrupting that cycle, which will then affect the process, right? In Chinese medicine as well, it's important to get to bed before 11 because that's when the liver energy kicks in. And the liver's got a big job at night of like cleaning the blood and doing lots of things. So if you go over 11 p.m. at night, you're interrupting the sleep cycle system, right? The next one, number five, this one's interesting, but socializing at nighttime is actually very stressful to the nervous system, for my nervous system. And I thought originally, oh yeah, I'm quite an introvert. It makes sense. It's, you know, hard work sometimes socializing at night. But when I look at the data of my wife, she's more extroverted than I. It's also stressful, right? So whether you're introvert or extrovert, I don't think it really matters. It's still a stressful is not the right word. It's more like an alert state being in, you know, dealing with social cues, being alert, communicating. It takes a lot of brain power, nervous system to do it, and that's okay. But the thing to be aware of is that sometimes, and what I realized, I was like, oh, I just got to be a hermit. I'm never going to go out at night again. But I've realized that that's not the way to do it either, because the benefits you get from socializing at night, seeing friends, potentially far outweighs the damage you may do to your sleep on that one night. So if if you are feeling lonely, if you want to socialize more, then going out and doing it is beneficial and worth it, even if it's going to damage your sleep, because you're not socializing every night, right? And that's probably where the damage is. If you're socializing too much all the time and not prioritizing your sleep, then yeah, that's going to be an issue. If you're younger, teenage years, 20s and stuff, I think you can handle it a lot more. Your body's more um, going through the process. But if you're older, you just need to be a bit more aware how much socializing you're doing at night, because it does interfere with sleep. Number six is room temperature. This is quite a new thing that I came across from like Dr. Huberman. They talk a lot about it, where the nervous system actually prefers cool or a cold room or environment for the rest and digest relaxation state. So what that means is if your bedroom's slightly cool, it's easier for your body to go into a restful state, better sleep, right? Um, when I was growing up, we just opened the doors, open the windows, and just slept with whatever conditions, and that's fine. I think that's healthy too. But if you do struggle with sleep, it's definitely worthwhile cooling your room down. If you live in a cold place, it's And it's not that hard. But if you live in a warm place, really important to cool your room down. Even an hour before you go to bed, you cool your room down, put the aircon on, cool everything right down. 17, 18 degrees around about there will help the quality of your sleep. And, even like having a cool shower or putting water on your feet is also going to help quickly reduce your body temperature and put you into that recovery state a bit quicker as well. Yeah, so that's that. Number 7, I've got to mention EFT tapping. So EFT tapping definitely shows that, particularly if I'm tapping for over 15 minutes with clients or with myself, sitting still without distractions, it starts to trigger the relaxation response. So the nervous system calms down. So you can do this, in the evenings to help you switch and calm down, right? And if you, match it with something like having a cool shower and doing some tapping, that's going to be quite a strong shift into a more relaxed state, getting ready for bed. So there's a few different things you can do. And again, you've got to test it and try it out for yourself. But when the sun sets, you want to start moving yourself towards cooling the nervous system down, calming the nervous system, tapping, things like that. And that'll help prepare for better quality sleep. And number 8, the final one, is exercise. So this plays on this paradox of yin and yang. So exercise is actually, it's a fight or flight. It's a strong nervous system response. It's hot, you're sweating, it's stressful on the body. So that creates a stressful response. And that's actually good in this case, because once you push it to a certain point, you have a big workout, is that it'll flip or switch you over to the other state. So it'll help you move into a more relaxed parasympathetic state. Often people that have trouble moving into a relaxed state, they're just riding a constant state of stress, or the nervous system is unable to go up and down or switch quite easily. So exercise is one of those things, particularly a strong workout. It really pushes the nervous system to an extreme, and then that switches you over to, and then starts to calm everything down. And that's often why after exercise you feel good, you feel relaxed, right? You'll feel great after exercise. So that's what's happening. You create stress, which then triggers the opposite reaction and creates a calming effect. So exercising during the day is best. At night is not recommended. And that's going to help with sleep because it's going to move you into the rest and digest state. And that's basically it. That's the 8 things that I realized was really harming my sleep, harming my ability to rest, and some of the tips I've been doing to improve the sleep. And I'm still working on it. It's definitely takes time, and you've got to collect data, and you've got to research work and combine things as well. Like I said, EFT and a cold shower might be the switch. The good news is that it's possible. It's all trainable. The nervous system is always learning and training. So yeah, it's hopefully these 8 tips will get you moving in the right direction.